Hey everybody, it's Chad from Six Blog. Today I want to do a different kind of video. Never done one of these videos. This video is going to be about a gun. It's not about backpacking gear. For those of you interested, no. I have no intentions whatsoever on bringing this gun with me while I backpack. Simply because it's too dang heavy. And not only that, because I just don't feel like I need a gun while I'm backpacking. It's also not about knives. I've done a few knife videos as well. This one's about a gun. Not too long ago, a friend of mine kept talking to me saying, oh, I'm getting a 1911, I'm getting a 1911. So it kind of wore on me a little bit, and I decided, you know what, I want to get a 1911 also. Before I go any farther, I just want to say that I am not an expert by no means on anything about guns. I have a couple other guns, but I've really never done a lot of shooting with them. I'm just pretty much green as can be when it comes to guns. So if I say anything wrong or that's not correct in this video, please feel free to correct me on it. I just ask that you do so nicely. So anyway, my buddy ended up getting a 1911, and I said, you know, I want one too. So I started looking around, and I decided that I wanted to go with a Springfield 1911. Looking around on the internet, I decided that really what I wanted was something around the loaded 1911 from Springfield. So I went around a few stores here in my city, looking at what they had. One store had a mil-spec stainless steel Springfield 1911 for $579, and I feel like that was a really good price, and I was really tempted to go ahead and get it. But I decided, you know, I'm just out here looking today. I just want to see what we have to offer, so I was like, well, I'm going to go to another store. So I went to another store. It's called Barry's Trading Post. I've actually bought another gun from him in the past. Anyway, I was looking around, and the only Springfield 1911 they had was the TRP. Now the TRP is a little bit more money than what I wanted to spend. Like I said, I'm a newbie, so I couldn't tell you why exactly this gun can go for as high as $1,800. I couldn't tell you why. All I knew was it was a classic 1911 and that it's had some upgrades to it over the basic mil-spec version. Now, as far as what those upgrades were, I wasn't even completely sure. But I knew that I wanted one, and from talking with other people, really getting anything other than a mil-spec Springfield 1911 was kind of tough. It was really kind of luck of the draw. You would just happen upon something similar to the way that I happened upon this TRP. So they were asking $1,600 for the gun. They dropped the price to $1,400, and I said, what the heck, I'll go for it. I put it on layaway, and a few weeks later I finally got it out. Since then, I will say that I've put 350 rounds through it, and about the last 2 to 3 weeks, I don't think I've had it out for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I put about 350 rounds through it, and I've got to tell you, I'm obviously not the most accurate person with the gun, but it has been such a joy to shoot. I'm really, really enjoying this. I've actually been going down to some a shooting range, some friends of mine from a long time ago. They have a shooting range, and they have USPSA tournaments, and they've had some steel match tournaments. And so far I've got to shoot in 2 of the USPSA tournaments and 1 of the steel match tournaments, and guys, it was just awesome. If you haven't ever done it, if you enjoy shooting a gun, I suggest you go and look into a range and maybe get into it, because it's just a lot of fun. Now, I will say it can be expensive. You don't have to have anything special. There are a lot of rules, and I'm not getting into any of that, but let me just say it's a lot of fun. And if you can come up with the bullets, the fees for getting into it, I don't know if they are everywhere, but here, $8 for a USPSA tournament, and then just bring, you know, your ammunition, and it was $5 for a steel match. And guys, just a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun shooting this. A lot of great guys down there that's been kind of showing me just a lot of things that I wouldn't learn if I was just go out in my backyard and start shooting, you know, a bale of hay or something. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm wanting to get familiar with this gun, because part of the reason that I bought this gun is personal protection, home defense kind of thing. Of course, you know, I have a shotgun for home defense, but I'll just say home defense, personal protection. I am considering carrying this concealed. I haven't done it yet, and I know it's a big gun. This is a full-size 5-inch 1911. It's not a small gun by any means. But I do plan on attempting and carrying it concealed for a while and seeing what I think about it and then going from there. Anyway, like I said, this is the TRP model. They've had, this gun is, from what I understand, they make the professional, Springfield Professional 1911, and that's what they issue actually some of the FBI and SWAT teams. That's some of their standard issue guns as the professional model. This is going to be your, basically it's going to be your production line professional model gun. It's going to have a lot of the, well, some of the same features I assume as what's in the professional. It's just built actually on the line instead of 100% in the Springfield custom shop, so a lot of the price is not, there's not such a high price with it. Like I said, I paid $1,400 for this gun, and looking online, I've seen where people get them new anywhere between $1,200 to $1,800. So I feel like $1,400 was a pretty fair price. Like I said, I'm not a big gun buff, but I can tell you some of the things that I am aware of that's on this gun, things that I've read about, things that other people have showed me. Just real quick, just do a safety check. As you can see, there is no magazine in the gun, and there's no round in the gun. So it is completely safe. Anyway, as far as some of the customizations that's done in this gun, first thing is it has a mag well. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I believe it's a Smith & Alexander mag well or main housing, something like that. I'm thinking this is all one piece, the back panel, mainspring housing, and the mag well. But anyway, it does have a mag well, and what that's good for, if you're not aware, is if you're in a competition and you're slamming magazines, because you know you do get timed, all this does is basically kind of guide you into the magazine chamber so that you don't have to be focusing so much on reloading your gun as much as keeping your eye on the target. But anyway, it has that. It does have a front checkering. I can't remember if this is maybe 25 lines per inch front checkering. And that's actually a pretty expensive thing. I've seen where some of that can go, if it's done by hand, can go up to like $250 just for that. It has had a trigger job on it. I think it's got the extended ambidextrous safeties on it. It's got the Delta hammer on it. Of course, it's got the grip safety, nice beaver tail there. It's got Novak tritium sights, so it's basically night sights. Let's see here. The whole inside of the gun has been deburred, and then it has it's got a match grade barrel on it, and as far as I can tell, the way to tell that is the end of the bevel, or the end of the barrel, is actually flared out. And I don't know if you can see that very well, but the end of the barrel does actually flare out just a little bit more than, it's not just completely straight. Now, as far as I understand about a match grade barrel, I hear there's a lot of things about that. Some say that's just something to sell you on a more expensive barrel. Some people say, no, it's not, it really does matter. I don't know. I haven't shot it enough, or I don't know the difference. So I can't really comment on it. I can just say that that's part of the TRP model. One other thing about this gun is it does have a full-length guide rod, and as you can see here, I have a Recoil Spring guide from Wilson Combat, as well as a Recoil Spring Plug from 10.8, and I'm going to take this full-length guide rod out and put in just a standard length or a GI length guide rod, and I'm going to show you that on the video just to kind of show you how to break it down, stuff like that. Like I said, now this is not, I'm not an expert or anything like this, so don't try and take anything from this. This is just me showing you what I've kind of learned in the couple of weeks that I've had it. Anyway, there may be some other things that's on this gun, not really sure. It did have a trigger job. It's got a 4.5 pound trigger pull according to what's listed on the website. Let's see, I think that's about all I can tell you really about the gun right off the top of my head. But anyway, so what I want to do is I'm going to take this thing apart, and I'm going to put the new the guide plug or the guide rod in it, and I'm going to get rid of well, I got my safety on. I'm going to get rid of that full length guide rod there. Now I want to say I'm not getting rid of it. I'm going to keep the guide rod. I'm not throwing it away or anything. But some folks say that that the full length guide rod is absolutely worthless. And what I found out is that there's a lot of arguments over full length guide rods versus standard length guide rods. Kind of like water filters in backpacking. Some people swear by water filters, some people swear by chemicals, some people swear that they don't need anything. So I'm doing it just simply because I don't like the idea, or not necessarily the idea, but I don't want to have to use an Allen wrench to break the gun down. I want to be able to just push down on the plug and then swivel that bushing over and be able to tear the gun down. Now, as far as the defense, as far as some people say that the good thing about a full length guide rod, this is a .45 caliber gun, so it's got a little bit of kick to it, but it is a heavy gun, so that does help with the recoil some. Some people say that as far as the full length guide rod, the reason it's there is because it helps add a little extra weight on the front end of the gun, so it helps absorb some of that recoil. Does it? I have no idea. Like I said, I've shot this gun 350 times. I've never shot another gun to compare it by, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'll see a difference whenever I go back later and shoot it and I don't have the actual guide rod in there, but I feel like I'm probably not. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and tear this thing down real quick. The first thing you need to do whenever you tear the gun down, you need to make sure your hammer's cocked back, and I go ahead and put the safety up. To begin with, take my Allen wrench, go ahead and take the full length guide rod is actually two pieces, and you'll see in just a little bit. Go ahead and take the top part of the guide rod out, and then now that I got that done, I can just push down on that, kind of swivel that bushing over. Just be careful because there's a spring in here. This is your recoil spring in there, and that thing will shoot out. But anyway, push that down, swivel your bushing over, and pull it out. And then there is your recoil spring, and this is your plug. Although it's not your standard plug because of the guide rod. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and pull your safety off, slide it back, and you'll see that there's this is your slide stop notch here, and then this other notch is to take it down. So what you do is you line up that slide stop, or that takedown notch, with a little square right there where the slide stop actually is, and then you can see there's a button on that side, and that's actually the back side of that. All you do is push up on that, pull your slide stop out, and then the slide will come off. And then there you have the your frame, or your body, whatever you want to call it. And then this is going to be this is my recoil spring and my recoil spring guide, and that's part of what I'm going to be replacing. So this is this is the full length guide rod that comes in the gun. It comes in the TRP. And like I said, I'm not going to throw that away. I'm going to hang on to it for sure. It's too expensive to throw away. But what I've got here is, like I said, this is a Wilson Combat Recoil Spring guide. It's part number 575S. I don't know if the camera's focusing in there, but that's the part there. And I watched another video and got the part numbers and stuff for these. So, and then also this is the 10.8 Performance 1911 Recoil Spring Plug. This is what's going to be taking the part of that plug there. And that's the package that came in. One thing I want to show you, one nice thing about the TRPs, they are made on the production line. However, the TRP model is sent, as far as I understand, to the custom shop, and there are things done to it at the custom shop that the basic mil spec or some of the lower or lesser models don't have done to it, such as the trigger job and maybe some of the other stuff. One other neat thing about this TRP is the barrel, the slide, and the frame are actually hand fitted, so that you get a good fitting, a good tight slide to frame finish. And you can notice, if the camera's picking up in here, let me see. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. You can notice in there on the actual barrel. They've got 057 engraved on the barrel there. And then actually on the slide, they have 057 engraved on the slide. As well, a little bit harder to see. But right there, I believe this is the ejector, maybe. Anyway, you can see there's 057 that's engraved in that. It's not quite as, it's harder to see than it is in the other ones, but it is there. I think I've got some little bit hair in here, maybe Band-Aid hair. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put the new Recoil Spring guide back in. Get my bushing out of the way. Slide that up. And I'm not going to worry about greasing this thing right now because it's been cleaned after I just shot it. Line that back up. Slide it back over. Line those notches back up. And then the link, the barrel link, you probably can't see it, but it's in there. You want to make sure that barrel link falls and lines back up. So when you put your slide stop back in there, it's where things are supposed to be. Now I want to say one thing right here. There's such a thing called idiot scratches, and I have one on my gun. Call me an idiot if you want, whatever. I'm a newbie. But the first 2 times I put it back together, I got this little scratch right there, and you probably can't see it in the video. But I have a scratch there. It's called an idiot scratch. There's these little tools, and you can call me an idiot for buying them if you want to. You can actually use just a piece of a card. I've been using a piece of card. But they make these little idiot scratch protection tools. It was like $4 and they sent me 3 of them. But that just kind of fits over that right there, and that will protect that from scratching. Put that in there. Line that up, push it in, pull that out, and it's all back together. Now then, we'll go ahead and slide our frame forward. Put our safety back on, and that's so the slide doesn't rack back whenever we're putting this on. Push this down in there, spin that bushing back around, and there it is. Take the slide off. Sweet. And in my opinion, that looks awesome. And of course now, I don't have the guide rod that used to stick out of the bottom. So anyway guys, this is my Springfield 1911 TRP. From what I understand, it's a very worthy gun. Whether it is or not, I have no idea. I'm trying to get better with it. I'm trying to get familiar with it, and I think that's a great thing to do with any gun, no matter what it is. I've been having a blast shooting this thing. Looking forward to shooting it many, many, many more times. It's just something fun to do. Anyway guys, like I said, I'm sure that I maybe said some things in here that might not quite be right, and if not, please feel free to correct those. Like I said, just do it nicely. Otherwise, if you're going to be a turd about it, I'm just going to delete your comment. It doesn't really bother me at all. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and if you do have any comments or questions like normal, just post those below and I'll do my best to get back to you and reply to any questions if I can, or to comments. And guys, I appreciate you watching. See you later.